We'll get started in just a minute. If you could smash that like button, oh man, would help us out. See you soon. Okay. Nid. Okay, let's just do this damn thing. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the morning stream. I guess it's the afternoon stream today. Gonna talk spoilers for Falcon the Winter Soldier episode 4. Look, you guys see the title. I didn't like the episode. I really didn't like it. Here's the thing. This is just one of those things, and we're gonna have to just kind of get through it together, because we've been talking about this as a community lately. The fact that subjective opinion, especially when it comes to content creators, it needs to be allowed to remain subjective. And so look, here's the thing, like, the honest to God truth is I didn't like this episode. I'm going to talk about why I didn't like the episode. I'm going to talk about why I'm worried about the show. I'm going to talk about why I'm in general worried about Marvel Disney Plus shows. But that is not to say that I'm trying to pour the haterade on, or that I'm trying to freak out or cause a bad vibe. Well, in fact, not really, not at all. I'm pumped that people love the episode. This is what's awkward about it. I find myself... Look, ask yourselves this question. What would you do in this situation? Imagine really not liking this episode. Like, legitimately. And everybody else loved it. Not only did everybody else love it, I'm seeing so many people say it was their favorite episode. It was the best episode. It was like the greatest thing, right? So... I'm not, like, blind to that, of course. You know what I mean? That, to me, that makes this stream and what I have to say all the more interesting. Because that would indicate that I am in a minority of opinion when it comes to this show. At least seemingly. And if I were a person watching content, and even if I loved this episode and absolutely loved the show, I would be interested to know why someone else didn't. So that's what we're going to get into today. But to be honest, too, like, I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to be open to the good things that were in the episode, because there were some awesome things that happened in the episode. So let's start with some positive things before I get into all the reasons that I really didn't like it. Let's talk about the positive things. The cold open in Wakanda. By the way, spoilers. If you didn't know, we're getting into spoilers for episode 4 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Get out of here if you don't want spoilers. Okay, so the cold open in Wakanda I thought was excellent. Now, a lot of us sort of called this being a thing, and I felt like it was handled very, very well. We get to see an incredibly intimate moment with Bucky and Io, and it's not Ayo, Chet, you idiot. It's Io. We get to see an incredibly intimate moment between those two. The moment indicates more intimate moments, right? It's cool. I liked it. It was dope. That aspect of it was really, really good. Of course, the ending with John Walker and him snapping and him, like, bloodying, possibly even decapitating that person or whatever, was crazy. And it was super impactful. It means something. It's going to impact the rest of the MCU. Like, things will be different from there. That is, of course, awesome and super impactful. I'm pumped about it. Also, Zemo. Zemo is so good. All I want to do is watch Zemo, if I'm being honest. He's so good. All I want to do is watch Zemo. Like, the kid candy thing, so creepy, so weird, and yet he gives the little girl, like, I don't know what kind of note that was, but he gives her a bunch of money for her family. You know, when I saw that, I was like, dude, did Zemo just legitimately do more for this village than any Flag Smasher or Avenger ever has? Think about that. Zemo is the best part of the show, frankly. So, of course, there are awesome things happening. There's a great canon, a connective tissue of cool things that are coming. Thunderbolt machinations. Super soldier confusion conspiracies, etc., etc. It's real cool. John Walker getting the super soldier serum. Dope. Now, let me explain just a few of my issues. Okay, the main issue is, and I went back in and I timed it. Here's what happened. I watched the episode live with the NERDVENGERS. We watched it behind the scenes. I didn't like the episode. I talked about briefly why I didn't like the episode, and then I went right back in and watched the episode again. Like, because I was talking to some people on Twitter. People were like, basically like, you're fucking crazy, Josh. We love the episode. You're crazy, blah, 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 right? I went back and watched the episode. During the first watch through, there was a moment about 15 minutes in that felt like it was a half hour in. And I remember just being like, when are we going to get some action? You know what I mean? Guys, it's like a half hour into the show before we get action. And the action is, of course, the scene at the funeral. And if you really add up the action that's in that scene, it's her punching John Walker, running away, getting shot by Zemo, and that's it. Like, that's literally it. The Dora Milaje scene was cool, but go back and time it. It's like 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes. And then they're literally gone. You know what I mean? The end of the episode has cool action sequences, but guys, you know what's something I noticed on my second watch through, and this might irritate you guys, but it's true. Go back and watch it. Almost every action sequence in this show, in this episode particularly, ends with someone running away and being chased. Like, every time there could be like a cool actual like action set piece that's like a flowing action sequence, somebody bails and runs. And then they either run, and then literally, you either run with the characters that are chasing them into an empty room where they're like, we lost them. or they just chase him. You know what I mean? Like, so I think this is what I'm saying. Where's the action, dude? That's frankly where I'm at. It's like, where is the action? I also feel like that for me personally, and again, I'm just speaking from me personally, my subjective opinion, I feel as though the lack of action is also hurt by the show's weird propensity to do exposition. Like, there's this rule in storytelling, especially in comics. It's called show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. Comic books and cartooning is an action-oriented thing. Why? Because it's boring as fuck to read a page of panels with faces and dialogue. Like, when I was working in comics, we would get scripts like that, and I would just be like, dude, you have 8 to 12 pages of dialogue. That's half the book. Do you expect people to read all of those panels of dialogue? It's a comic book. Where is the action? You know what I mean? And by the way, I ultimately believe that a lot of the dialogue and the issues that are being handled are actually being handled incredibly well. The show has scenes like the Elijah scene, right? The police scene, you know what I mean? The John Walker scene, the beginning scene with Bucky in this episode. There's a lot of like scenes that in a vacuum are like incredible. Like, they're incredible, and they handle issues with nuance and care that I think the show deserves a lot of credit for. But my problem is, it seems like that may be one of the only things the show is absolutely nailing, and it's not doing itself any favors, because I think it's actually hurting even the good thing it is doing by not giving people a little bit more of what the trailers sold us on, which was a buddy cop action thing. So the show is actually, in my opinion, of course, even hurting its own ability to get its own messages across, because it doesn't respect the form. In my opinion, of course. I felt like we have the same conversation about the Flag Smashers, and particularly Carly, over and over and over and over again. It's literally like, is she a bad person or not? Just over and over again. Like, there's a point in the show where after that, what I consider to be a pretty lackluster action sequence, like, let me just kind of take you through this. After what I consider to be a very lackluster action sequence, which was the funeral, we then cut to a scene with Carly, and it's a dialogue sequence with her and two of the other Flag Smashers. And she's telling another fucking story, man. When the blip was blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't care. And then, on top of that, the power broker sends a text message that is read by the Asian dude. And when his voice started reading it, I was like, oh, thank God, a sound bridge to something. Nope. Just him reading the fucking text. I was like, what? Show, don't tell. It feels like the show is trying to tell, don't show. And in the case of Walker taking the super soldier serum, it feels like the show doesn't want to show or tell. When did he take that serum? Somebody explain it to me. When did he take that serum? So, again, to me, I'm just blown away. Frankly, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that people are so positive on this episode. Like, I'm frankly shocked. You know what I mean? I just feel like at a base level, like it is sloppy pacing. Like it is really sloppy pacing. And then like Lamar, like how are we supposed to, like how are we really supposed to care about Lamar? Lamar was an obvious fridging of the wife from like the jump. It was so obvious. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm walking through plot point, exposition, goobly glob. Frankly. And I'm just really surprised. Like, I'm just really surprised. I'm surprised that people are responding to it so positively. I do think the show has the ability to obviously turn it around. And in the last 2 episodes, I think it could be absolutely fantastic. But frankly, 4 hours to get to John Walker, like legit heel turn, just feels really weird, dude. Like it just feels weird. You know what I mean? I just don't know how in probably less than 2 hours, I'm gonna feel satisfied. You know what I mean? So, look, there it is. There's sort of my opinions, and I will get into more detail. Of course, we'll get into Q&A. We'll talk about what you guys want to talk about. I'm open to hearing what you have to say. But before we do, let me also say that, frankly, a big part of why I am disappointed is my expectations. Okay? So I will be totally charitable in that regard. My expectations for the show are super, super high. Super high. Real high. And in some ways, that is absolutely on me. But not completely. Marvel and the Marvel brand, they are trying to sell us on these shows. On Disney Plus. On this new thing. And just being real, I feel like I need a massive recalibration for what to expect with these shows. Like a massive one. Because this is not MCU type craziness to me. To me, personally. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll have to wait and see what the consensus is. Because, again, I think this is sort of an interesting situation because I think I am legitimately in a minority of opinion here. However, I'm not so certain that it's as much of a minority as maybe some of you are thinking. So, I just want to see. Just want to see where people are at. I'm excited to kind of check out how people react to it, respond to it, and talk about it in general. But from my standpoint, this is a pretty let down episode for me. And it's not even necessarily this is what's weird. It's not even the full episode's fault. It's the fact that it's like, oh, so we're literally 2/3 of the way through at the end of this. And I'm like, it's starting to feel like WandaVision, where it's like, this is a prologue. This isn't a full thing. This doesn't give you a full thing. No, we're going to have no idea. Like, we might get Sam with the shield by the end of the show. In fact, I'm pretty certain we will. But I don't think, like, resolutions for arcs for a lot of these characters are going to happen at all. You know what I mean? Where it's like, we're just going to move forward and have the characters just kind of doing their thing over time, which is cool. But it's just, it doesn't feel like there's enough there for me. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's where I'm at with it. How many subscribers have we lost so far? Are we still okay? Are we gonna be okay? Are we gonna survive this? Are we gonna survive? I was told that you shouldn't have an opinion. If you want to be successful on YouTube, you should not have an opinion. Keep your opinion to yourself. Look out at what's trending. Decide that you have that opinion and fake it for all that it is worth, lest you be considered a hater. Don't you know the rules? Bend your knee to the popular opinion of the masses. Yeah, alright. I'll work on it. I'll work on it. You lost your mind, son, but I still love you. All right. Right on. Right on. I'll take it. I will take it. So, should we just get into, should we just get into Q&A? Should we just do it? Should we just see? You're done on this platform, Josh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, shit. See, there we go. This is Johnny. Johnny on the spot. Johnny on the spot is like, oh, shit, I thought this was the Den of Nerds, not Salty G&G. Oh, my God, you're right. I don't want to be like Jeremy. I should hide my opinion. Johnny on the spot. Johnny H, you're so right. So right. Oh, no. Yeah, the show's good. It's just not grand. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. Can I be honest with you, too? Can we just talk about something? Can somebody explain to me Carly? Did I miss something with the Carly character? Like, why is she leading? I can't help but think, like, I must have missed something. You know what I mean? Because there's no real charisma there for me. You know what I mean? I see no reason, diegetically speaking, as to why these characters are following Carly. Did I miss it? Was there something there? Is it because of the freckles? Probably the freckles, right? And it's weird because they did the same thing to her in Solo 2, made her the leader of a resistance. And I'm just like, okay. I don't see it. But that's alright. That's alright. Alright, let's get into Q&A. Hopefully the super chats are working. Oh, look, they're not. Thanks, YouTube. Alright. Let's see if I can get back through here. Yeah, Ryan, if you're watching, can you send me the super chats? If anybody can log in to the account of the back end and give me a screenshot of the super chats, that'd be dope. I'll try to log into StreamYard right now. Or Streamlabs, rather. Oh, goody. I think we got it. Okay, RF Gaming donated $2 and said, your expectations clearly too high. What were they? Yeah, no, my expectations are definitely too high. I guess the main thing with the expectations is, like, it feels like everybody's now blown away that Walker, A, took the serum, and B, tarnished the shield. And I'm like, okay, you obviously have never read a fucking comic book. Not a big deal, but, like, everybody saw that coming. It's weird that we took 4 hours to get there, in my opinion. Like, and on top of that, like, I don't even feel like we get to spend any time with John. Like, the John Lamar thing is cool, but it's, like, sprinkled. It's, like, sprinkled throughout. I don't know. I guess that's kind of part of it too. Is like, I feel like the comic book expectations, as well as just kind of knowing what is going to happen in the show, or at least some of the things that were going to happen. Like, I don't know. To me, it just feels so weird that we're just now getting into it or whatever. But yeah, I'm not very cool. Says with a $5 holla. I want John Walker to be a serious Deadpool type character in the future of the MCU, doing the right thing, but maybe not the politically correct way. Yeah, so the rumor is John is here to stay. He will be U.S. citizen or U.S. agent, I believe, after this show, and he'll be joining the Thunderbolts, which will probably be pretty cool. And yeah, I think he'll stick around. I think he'll still be crazy. It's going to be very interesting to see how all of the fallout, of course, of him smashy. It is going to be interesting. Like, I'm not blind to the fact that that's going to be cool. But, yeah, we'll see. Proxy says, guess the homie at the end got decapitated. Nice. But I know Paul will appreciate that at least. Yes, he will. Paul's got a very good sense of humor. Patrick Ray says with $5 holla, Zemo Fist Pump Den of Nerds t-shirt showed off at Comic-Con, where all Den of Nerds can show off their tattoos in the t-shirts in a group pic vlog. I'm into it, Patrick. I think we might just have to do that. Rogue Soul says, also, no disrespect, but you should go rewatch Daredevil. There was like 5 or 7 minutes of action for hour-long episodes, and that show rocked. I'll go back and look. I'm going to disagree with you immediately, though. In fact, now you've just made it into a thing, and I'm going to do a beat-by-beat comparison. Mala says with the $5 holler, Sam's sister is toxic as F with her against black people agenda. People watching it will start believing it. Bad message to send out. Okay, so I personally don't agree with that at all. But I don't like it because it just feels weak. Like when I saw that scene where Carly called her, I'm sorry. Like, I just didn't buy it. Like, Carly's not intimidating, and I feel like the sister isn't shook. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if somebody called me like that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not buying it. Like, I totally disagree with your take on the messaging, but, hey, to each their own. You know what I mean? To each their own. Ryan Carter says, if everyone else loved the episode, then wouldn't you be wrong? Wait, what? Wouldn't you be wrong? Oh, about the show hurting its own message. Okay, so that's an interesting take. So you're saying, if everybody loved the episode, would I be wrong about the show hurting its own message? I mean, sure. I guess that's linearly true. So perhaps. Jared Grossman says Walker shouldn't have taken the serum until after Battlestar's death, and they needed to show him take it. Yeah, it feels a little weird. It feels a little weird the way it all went down. Sheev the Wise says, I'm in the same boat as you, Josh. Thank you for putting it in words for me. Seems obvious where it's going to. Sam and Bucky will take the shield. Yeah, for sure. Ryan Carter says, we still love you even when you're wrong. I appreciate it, dude. And look, this is just my opinion. I think it's possible that I might be one of the only people that feels this way. I don't know if that's true, though. Gavin says, me like episode. Josh no like episode. Wait, what? Josh no like episode like me. Different strokes, different folks. P.S. Take my money. Indeed, Gavin. Look, I had a couple of different options about like what kind of a stream I wanted to do, what kind of content I wanted to do. Look, here's the deal. Like, ultimately, like, I'm just not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Like, I could curb what I have to say. I could try to make positive content about the show, which I will. You know what I mean? Like, frankly, there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about with regards to the show and where it's going. However, man, I really didn't like this episode. Like, y'all probably don't even realize how much I really didn't like the episode. Elisa says, with a very generous $10 holla, the issue with the current Marvel projects is that they're not letting dialogue / character building / exposition to coexist with action sequences like they did in the past. It makes the show feel choppy. Yeah, I agree. It's pacing. It's pacing, exposition, a lack of action. Yeah, it's not doing it for me. And I'll say this. I want to be super charitable to Marvel because I sort of get the feeling that both WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier may have been more affected by the pandemic than we first anticipated. You know what I mean? There were some rumors that with the reshoots for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they removed some things that were really serious plot points, but then they kind of figured weren't going to be a good look after the pandy. I don't know how much that actually affected things, so we'll see. But I'm willing to be sort of like super charitable to Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision. I mean, honestly, it's not the end of the world. And ultimately, I think we might just be heading towards a place where, frankly, I'm just going to massively recalibrate my expectations for the shows, which is fine. I'll be able to do better content about the shows. Like, we'll be able to say, like, okay, here's what could happen, but let's not forget this is a Disney Plus show and not an MCU movie, and therefore we should recalibrate our expectations. I'm completely fine with that. It's just I'm currently going through the process of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was my most anticipated project, and we're 4 hours through it, and I'm like, I was wrong. You know what I mean? Now, could the last hour and 40 minutes or whatever we have left blow me away and me completely change my tune? That's absolutely possible. And in fact, that's the opposite of what happened in WandaVision. If you recall, if you were hanging with us when we were watching WandaVision, I loved WandaVision. I was so high on WandaVision until the last episode. And then I turned on it completely. So it's possible that the exact opposite will happen with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. My expectations and my current level of excitement about the show are not that high. So maybe what happens in episode 5 and then in episode 6 is incredible. And then I get really hyped and I flip on the show and I say it's the best thing since sliced bread. Lars says, you're comparing a cinematic universe to a TV show. Thought the episode was dope, but I appreciate your opinion. Nerdvenger for life. Well, thank you, Lar. Yeah, I appreciate your opinion too, man. Look, I was telling people on Twitter, because people are like, they cannot believe that I feel this way. You know what I mean? And I was telling people on Twitter, it's all good, dude. It's all good. I'm happy that you like the show. I'm pumped that you're having a good time with it. As a fan of Marvel, I want Marvel to be winning. If every Marvel project for the rest of the time was loved by the masses, but I didn't like it as much, I'd be willing to make that trade. That would be a good sacrifice, because it would mean my team is winning, my characters are killing it, and I could get over my personal lack of, expectations being met, and live within the hype and the satisfaction that the other fans have. I mean, that would be fine with me. You know what I mean? Big Stevie says, with a $10 hauler, don't let Josh's correct opinion that is triggering you prevent you from becoming a Nerdvenger. Become a Nerdvenger today and yell at Josh on the weekends too. That's actually a really good pitch. Do you want to yell at me about my opinions even when we're not live publicly? Join the Nerdvengers today. Thanks, Steve. Tim says, happy birthday and much love to my friend and fellow Nerdvenger, Tommy Banana. Hey, Tommy. Happy birthday to you. Hope it's a good one. RJ Brendo says, not everyone reads comics. This is true. Actually, statistically speaking, very few people do. This story needed to be fleshed out on screen. Multiple seasons for this show, 100%. Yeah. There's cool character development. Like, look, the show's not garbage. Like, I'm still very grateful that it exists, and the time I'm putting into it is dope. Like, I'm getting a lot out of it. I actually love John Walker. I love how crazy he is. I actually wanted more blood at the end of the episode. I was actually disappointed it wasn't more graphic, frankly. Zemo is... this show gave me comic book Zemo. You know what I mean? So it gets a pass for me. Even if it, doesn't fully realize what I think its expectations are, or rather its potential is, even if it doesn't hit that, the show gets a pass for me, dude. Zemo, y'all gave me comic book Zemo. I'm in. Let us see here. Tim, we already got that one. James says, my brain is used to a fast-paced movie format and now having a hard time with the slow-paced TV format. Power broker Trevor Slayery, yo, that would be sick. Sony and Netflix, take my money. Yeah, James. The That Sony, I have to do a video on that. That Sony Netflix thing is so damn interesting to me. So damn interesting to me. I don't know if it, like, explains anything. But it's definitely interesting. Like, it could at the very least explain why some of the negotiation with Tobey or whatever's going on with Tobey, like, it could explain why that has been so ridiculous. Because if you think about it, him going to, like, Netflix, like, if Sony made the deal with Netflix, and that's Disney's, like, greatest competitor, you know what I mean, in the streaming space, then, like, is Feige really gonna play ball with Sony like that? You know what I mean? It just adds an extra element of confusion and interest and intrigue to the entire situation to me. You know, we've been trying to figure out that situation for a long, long time, and it's just, I don't know. It's it is certainly a tricky one, but I appreciate the love, I appreciate the support, and we will keep you up to date on that. Patrick Ray says the Den of Nerds is the best community on YouTube. Thank you, Patrick. Gosh GM says, how do I join the Den of Nerds Discord? There should be already in chat someone helping you out on that. I'm sure they did. Rogue Soul with a $20 holla says, I may be fanboy dreaming, but After Dark crew said we'd talk about Nerdvenger gaming, so I made a video presentation. Tech difficulties didn't let me share last night, but it's a good idea. I think I could help Denim Nerds. How do I proceed? We got you, man. You're already in the right spot, talking to the right people. Just be patient. Carl says with the $10 holla, tempering our expectations is big. This is like phase 1 all over again. Everything has to be reestablished, though Nick Fury at the end isn't going to cut it anymore. We need more fan service. Yeah, Carl, look, I hear you. You know what I mean? I hear you. I think a year off of Marvel in general is not doing Marvel any favors with these shows. The last big Marvel thing before WandaVision, well, I mean, if you, Spider-Man, which was incredible, but then Endgame, really, right? So it's like, can you really blame people for having the expectations that they have, for feeling the desire that they feel? You know, I'm sort of the mind of you shouldn't judge your audience, but you should understand them. You know what I mean? Johnny Long with a $10 holla says, I think the slow build will pay off. I appreciate all the dialogue myself, but I respect your opinion. However, I'm expecting the last 2 episodes to be epic. Dude, there's so much good dialogue in the show. I just wished it was better paced. I wish there was less exposition. I wish some of the actors and actresses brought it a little more. But yeah, there's incredible dialogue, dude. I mean, Io and Bucky's dialogue is great. The arm thing was great. Zemo and everybody is incredible. You know what I mean? There's incredible dialogue. I want the toys. I love dialogue with my toys. But then you smash them together. Okay? That's how you play with toys. You smash them together. I need these toys to smash together. For a group that calls themselves the Flag Smashers, the amount of smashing I've seen, super disappointing. Johnny H. Johnny on the spot. Welcome to the Nerdvengers. Seems like you got thick skin. You're going to do just fine in this community. Mike Haas says, with a $10 holla, I think it can be frustrating to not understand the love when you ain't feeling it. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier is absolutely playing to normies. I don't know about that. See, I disagree, actually, Mike. Obvious endgame, guys. Come on, nerd. We know where it's going. Okay, so Mike, love you, love you, love you. Actually, totally disagree with your point. I don't think it's actually... I think the show's working even less for normies. Like, a lot of the normies that I've talked to are like, bro, I just don't see it. Like, I get that, you know, Zemo's cool in the comics, you know, but what? You know, I get new Captain America John Walker, but, like, what? Like, so I actually think normies are getting left behind And I think sweaties are getting frustrated. And I think swarmies, which is a cross between like the sweaties and the normies, I think they're right at home. Which is actually probably a legit strategy because I think the majority of the fandom right now is swarmies. You know what I mean? Matt Reisman says, for me, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is fine TV. Question is it good MCU? Is it supposed to be? Maybe it's great MT Television U, but we only have WandaVision so far to compare it to other Marvel TV. Yeah, that's fair. You know what I mean? That's fair. I wonder if this show would be better if it were binged. You know what I mean? Because I do feel like waiting a whole week and then like I was just really looking for the action. And waiting a whole week in anticipation of action and then getting it so sparse in this thing. Yeah. Yeah. Carl with the $5 hala says Carly was probably the first person the power broker was successful experimenting on. She then stole the formula and started a revolution. Yeah, but here's my thing about that. Like, I totally get her then being strong, but I just don't see the charisma. Like, I just don't see someone that a bunch of people would follow. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see it. And I don't know if it's been explained to me as just a casual audience member. You know what I mean? T-Love with the $15 holla says, I haven't seen the episode, so I can't speak on it. I can say that this show feels like it's setting itself up to be a disappointment, just like WandaVision and just like Godzilla vs. Kong. Okay, you stop your mouth right there. Godzilla vs. Kong was excellent. How dare you speak of Godzilla vs. Kong that way? But, you know, that's just my subjective, nerdy opinion. We're allowed to yell at each other. It's okay. Nerds yell at each other. It's okay. I don't know if the show will end being disappointing. I think currently right now, I'm a little disappointed. That's kind of where I'm at. Calvin says, disagree. Thought the pacing was great, especially the Bucky freedom scene at the start. Brother. Okay. I was as surprised by Asian as I was by the Agatha reveal. Look, that's dope, Calvin, but like, it's weird to say the pacing was great, especially the first scene. Like, at this point, you don't really... I don't know. For me, that just seems like kind of a counterintuitive statement, my friend, to say that the pacing was great, and then point to the beginning. But I feel you, dog. Different strokes, different folks. It's all good. Ryan Carter says, love the show, but you can tell it was heavily edited. Most of the Flag Smasher scenes have people talking off camera, and there was obviously way more with the den mother cut out. Huh. Okay. I'm wondering why. I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling weird. I don't know. I don't know about that, Ryan. Heavily edited. Most of the Flag Smasher scenes are taking off camera. I don't know, man. I'm curious as to what you mean. Maybe if you could further explain that, like send me a message on Discord or something. I don't quite know what you're saying. Brandon Vic Boss Morgan says, it's official. Josh is a Skrull. I know, right? I'm sure it feels like that way in some ways to you guys. But look, like, I just got to be real about this. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Gavin says, Power Brokers Ralph Boner confirmed. Right on. Brandon Stranahan says, I liked last week's episode better, but Battlestar dying equaled W. Yeah, so when we were watching the watch party, he said there was a moment where Lamar says, John, wait. If he can talk her down, it's a good option. And I knew right then that Lamar was not long for this world, because it just felt like they had made Lamar a moral anchor for John and an obvious sort of powder keg waiting in the wings. And like, look, I don't know how else to say it. Like, it just didn't really hit for me because I saw it coming 10,000 miles away, and it also didn't really feel earned. Like, it didn't feel earned to me because we haven't really spent any time with those two. Really. You know what I mean? Yeah. Fanjexer says, I know people loved their hour episodes, but this show would have greatly benefited from being a 30-minute episode series. I enjoyed this episode for what it is worth. Yeah, I know we've talked about that before, Adam, and I agree with you. I think it actually, and it's so weird to say, but yeah, I think the show would have been better if it was shorter. Chris19 says, I hope they make Sam Wilson similar to the badass level of Bruce Wayne / Batman. The only unaltered human at most points, but still very dangerous. I mean, that's interesting. I just, there's no way that Falcon is on the level of Batman, like just full stop. But, that would be cool. You know what I mean? It would be cool if I mean, I will say that I love the way he is using the jetpack and the wings and the fighting. It's really, really clever. This is something that Darren brought up a couple of weeks ago where she said, Marvel does a great job of using the powers of the characters in a very interesting way that's cinematically interesting. Sam hitting him with the blasters, clotheslining him with the wings, using the wings to cover and shield himself. It's really cool. You know, it's fan-frickin-tastic. But yeah, there's no way he's going to be Batman, bro. Come on now. Slow-Mo says, in my opinion, the shows are for normies to catch up, and people who know the lore are waiting for the storylines to speed up. Secret Wars and reboot the MCU. So, okay, that is totally a fair conversation. I was talking to Al about this last night after the episode because I was texting Al, and I was like, Al, I'm freaking out. Am I crazy? How hard should I go on the show? And Al, you know, and I had a great conversation about it. We talked a lot about different things that is going on. And I do think it's fair to say that all of the rumors and speculation about what is happening has affected the hype and our expectations of these shows perhaps in a negative way. But here's the thing. As a fan, you can intellectualize that all you want, but like a fan isn't going to be charitable enough to like remove their emotional response and say, oh yeah, here's why I shouldn't be as an emotional. No, fans make emotional responses. That's why the IP has the draw that it has. It's an emotional connection. So you can't make this stuff while understanding the value proposition that the emotion brings and the money that it's going to create for you, and yet not respect that exact thing. Now, I'm not saying that the show is doing that, but I'm saying that what you just explained, that difference, that sort of thing, it's ultimately on Marvel to fix that problem, not on fans. I will do my part. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, look, my expectations were wrong. Moving into Loki, let's pull them way back. You know what I mean? Moving into Moon Knight, let's pull them way back. Moving into She-Hulk, let's pull them way back. But does that even seem fun? Like, is that really what Marvel wants? Like, for fans to have that kind of a discussion? I don't know. It's an interesting problem. Again, the episode just came out. I haven't fully even looked out online. I don't like the episode. I've tweeted about why I don't like the episode. I've gotten into some debates, talked about it and whatnot with people. I'm interested in talking to you guys about it right here and now. But I don't know how many other people feel how I feel. I just don't know. Proxy says, Carly is terrifying. Every feckle is a soul absorbed in the scary ginger. Oh my God. I don't know about that. I mean, I know the ginger jokes are out there, but I don't know about all that. Paul says, I don't know how I'm going to financially... I don't know how I'm going to financially recover. Yeah, for sure. Maverick Pilgrim, alert, Indy 5, July 29, 2022. John Williams returned to score. Dude, no way. Is that real? That is fantastic, Mav. If John Williams is coming back, one last job. Like the old mafioso movie. Brock Sykes says, not as low as you. On point your analysis is, though. Rock on, man. Rock on. I'm glad you like it. Lord Vito says, who is the villain of this show? Because I have no idea who is good and bad anymore. Yeah. I will say this, Vito. You might have been right about the Snyder Cut comparison. Because right now, we got 4 hours about a Falcon Winter Soldier, and we had 4 hours about a Snyder Cut. want to talk about pacing? You can make 2 hours feel, or 4 hours feel like 2. You can make 1 hour feel like 3. Labry Adams says, with WandaVision and now with this show, I'm starting to wonder if Feige after Endgame did not semi-retire. I don't think that's what happened, but I do think something happened. And I do think there could be things going on that we're just not aware of. Sony stuff, Disney stuff, actor stuff. There's something's going on. Something stinks. It doesn't smell right. To me. You know what I mean? So, now let's just see what's going on in the chat. The chat. El Mando Slay says, I like you, Josh. You don't automatically like something because it's stamped Marvel. Of course not. But I'm not a hater either. I'm glad people like the show. Josh, I respect your opinion, but respectfully disagree. I felt this episode was a game changer in solidifying Walker's fall with the death of Lamar, who is his moral compass. Chi-Town, I feel you, brother. And if it worked for you, I'm happy for you. For me, it just didn't hit that way because I saw it a mile away. I knew it was coming from the comics and the leaks. Didn't really hit for me. But I'm glad that it did for you, man. That's dope. And you know what? Regardless, now you and I are at least on the same page, right? Because now we both fully understand who Walker is, what he did, and we're going to be excited to see where he goes from here. I mean, I can't wait to see him fight Bucky. I can't wait to see him fight Falcon. You know what I mean? It's going to be cool. So, of course, Josh has high expectations. The budget for this show is insane. Guys, the budget for this show is $155 million. $155 million. And we're 2/3 of the way through. And the Dora Milaje scene was 2 minutes. Like, where's the action? I don't know. I don't want to just continue to harp on it. But that's where I'm at with it. Bruh. King says, bruh. Captain America just cut a dude in half in front of people filming him. Like, that's major. Oh, it's absolutely major. But it was literally like 3 minutes of the episode. So, like, for me, like, I just can't get behind like an hour-long episode that to me is like just not completely paced and managed incredibly well. And then you slap a crazy end cap scene like that, and then it trends and blows up and it's dope. Like, Mando was not that way. To me, Mando Season 2 had pretty dang good episodes that then also dropped some wild stuff that everybody talked about and was trending throughout the week. And again, I'm in a minority on this one, so perhaps that is exactly what they are doing. It just didn't hit for me. MCU is a cinematic universe, says Lar. I agree. I think they assume you already invested in Captain America world. I'm invested because they are digging into what makes someone really worthy of the shield, like what really makes you a hero, says Wonderbread. I am with you, dude. I am with you. I guess my problem is I just don't see the like really smart MCU writing and like the really just great take on it. It feels like even the nuanced points that the show's trying to make are like very linear. Like, I don't think there's like a lot of actual nuance. I mean, there's certainly nuance to some of the aspects of the show, which is actually like, again, look, we're just gonna have to see how it ends because I have some theories about what happened with the show, but I need it to be over. You know what I mean? Before I can fully make that judgment. You know what I mean? Sheev says, in the same boat as you, Josh. Thank you for putting into words. Oh, I already saw that one. Sorry. Thank you for putting into words. Seems obvious where they're going. Bucky and Sam will take the shield. Yep. Let's see it. Ryan Carter says, we still love you. Wait, what's going on? Are now all of the things are popping in? What the hell? Thanks, YouTube. Gerik Phillip says, the thing is, last episode of Mando sucked, but Luke Skywalker cameo was hype AF, and everyone forgot about bad things in this episode. So yeah, I just don't agree. I felt like the last episode of Mandalorian was handled brilliantly. I felt like the pacing was brilliant. I felt like the music was brilliant. And legit, from beginning to end, a fantastic episode that is, of course, elevated by the incredible cameo, but because it served the story, and because of the goodbye, there's there's some there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, dude. And by the way, I know a lot of people that say that about the last episode of Mando Season 2. I don't think those people are crazy. I don't think those people are haters. It just didn't work for them. That's film, television. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that thought that Luke Skywalker was a CGI Frankenstein nightmare fest. You know what I mean? Like, people hit me up all the time and they're like, dude, that was horrible. Frumpy, fake, deep fake looking Luke. Stupid as hell. You know what I mean? All good. I completely disagree with that. But doesn't mean we have to hate each other. Paul Hansen says, love your show. Toby and Zemo need to have a dance-off. It must be done. It must be done, Paul. I agree. Since you read my super chat twice, am I on the hook for double my money? Triple, baby. The show is flipping amazing, says Lawrence McMillan. I'm glad you love it. I'm glad you're that passionate about it. What is that, 9, 10 exclamation points? That's pretty hype, brother. I'm glad that you're liking it that much. Johnny Long says, do you think Walker takes on Sam and Bucky head on? Because if he does, I don't know if I'll buy it. I don't know. I just don't know. What do you mean you wouldn't buy it? I think Walker with the Super Soldier Serum is pretty scary, dude. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty scary. Baby Stickman says, I think you're going a little over the top by saying that something went wrong with the show's production. Okay. My expectations were set lower than ever before, and now I am loving the series. First of all, that's dope. I'm glad you're loving the series. You think I'm taking it a little over the top by saying that something went wrong in production? I mean, frankly, we know stuff went wrong. There was a pandemic, dude. There was a pandemic, and they had to go back and do reshoots because of that. Do you realize that this show was supposed to come out in October of last year? So, I feel you, and again, glad you like the show. But I really don't think it's over the top. Just me. Alan Peaks with the $20 holla says, I'm beginning to what kind of MCU fan you are, my bud. Remember the boner. No offense. As a black male, I enjoy the dialogue. Listen to Feige. These are character development, not the movies, dude. Yes. Wait, what? Yes, your expectation, bro? Alan, I'm super pumped that you like the show. I'm super pumped that you like the dialogue. I like the dialogue, too. I just wish there was less of it. Wish there was more punchy and less talky. But no, I get it. And again, your opinion, completely valid as an opinion. I think the Flag Smashers are the weakest part of the show. I just don't care about them, says Jonathan. Yeah. They're an interesting... I don't know, man. The Flag Smashers could be interesting if they were being manipulated by somebody else, like the Power Broker or whatever. I don't fully understand that yet. And it is possible that when the Flag Smasher is actually introduced, that there's a lot of juice there, or rather when the Power Broker is introduced, that the relationship between the Power Broker and the Flag Smasher perhaps makes a little bit more sense, perhaps brings more intrigue to the Flag Smashers themselves. But yeah, frankly, right now they seem just I don't know, a bunch of idealists that got a hold of a super soldier serum. You know what I mean? It's to me, it's just not that interesting. You know? Read my post twice. Feige told us what these shows were. Some people didn't listen. So, Alan, I think that's actually a great point, because technically Feige did say, and I remember when he said this, he said you don't need to watch the shows to understand the movies. I think is what he said. And again, I can admit this. I can admit that perhaps I was wrong, and perhaps I should recalibrate my expectations for what the shows are. But am I supposed to act like I'm not disappointed, and that that it's completely on me, I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? I just simply don't. Like, Marvel's job in some ways is to set fan expectations. You know what I mean? With trailers, interviews, I mean, that's what press is. So I can't fully get behind that. I can agree. It's like I can agree and meet you in the middle where it's like, okay, you're right in the sense that, like, on the next go, like, we need to really, from the jump, probably filter what we expect to happen in the show through the lensing of, like, what happened in these other shows. Like, to your point, the boner situation, yeah? But I still don't think that means it's completely on the fans. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion, of course, but that's where I'm at. Maybe they are trying to have many characters to develop instead of concentrating on the characters we want to see developing. I mean, Timothy Gregg, I think that's a possibility. There's a lot of characters in this show. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on. And the one thing that was interesting is that it all seemingly came to a head in this episode. But frankly, like, my expectations, like, if you, let's just say it was like a cooking show, okay? Let me talk to you about the amazing ingredients that we have for you for today's meal. We've got the Dora Milaje, not only with a relationship and history with Bucky Barnes, but a timetable given to when they will come in and take Zemo out. We've got John Walker and Lamar hunting down the super soldiers, finding Sam and Bucky wanting to kill Carly. We've got Carly and the Flag Smashers fighting against Sam, Bucky, and the Power Broker, trying to do the right thing while also going dark side. It's like, these ingredients are incredible. And the funeral sequence and the way it all played out from there, to me, was like, oh man, that's what you made with those ingredients? I don't know, man. I don't know. I love this comment. Indigenous Carib says, you seem to be displaying some serious entitlement issues with Marvel. Why don't you apply to be a writer if you're that disturbed? I'm good, actually. I enjoy watching the shows, coming on, talking about how I feel about them. I enjoy the emotional responses that people have about the comments and about the shows. I enjoy doing what I do. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. I'm having a good time up here. But thank you. With what Walker did being captured in 4K, everyone around the world seeing it, Chris Evans showing up in episode 5 to confront Walker, yeah, for sure, that could be incredible. If it is indeed Old Man Steve, that would be great. But I don't think it is. What have we been talking about? What are we talking about? Talking about expectations, right? Well, let's talk about expectations. Do we really expect Steve Rogers to show up in episode 5 after everything we just talked about it? Do we? I don't. I do not. Expectations are your fault, says RF Gaming. Learned that with Star Wars The Phantom Menace, left disappointed, stopped watching trailers, enjoyed stuff so much more with no expectations. Look, that is your path, that is your karma. That's great that works for you. I just don't agree. Josh, I do agree that the nuanced points they are making are coming across weak because of the way they are presented. So it's funny. It's actually not. That's not exactly how I feel, because I feel in the moment some of these scenes are handled incredibly well. Like the police officer scene in Baltimore was, I thought, handled very well. It ran the risk of being just like an eye-rolling kind of a scene for me, but it was actually handled like in really creative ways that just kind of brought in these little bits of nuance that I was like, wow, that's like an incredible take on that scene. And you know, I talked about it before, but that entire 10 minutes where he's talking about Korea and whooping Bucky into the scene with the cops is one of the tightest 10 minutes I've seen in a show. That was incredible. My problem is the pacing around it, not just in that hour around that 10, but in the 4 hours, doesn't match up with how good that 10 minutes were. Like, if the entire show was handled as well as that 10-minute block, dude, I'd be up here like screaming to the top of my lungs at how good this show was and how much we need to give like Spellman and Skoglund anything they want. You know what I mean? That would be my take, because there are tight moments in the show. What I'm saying is there's a lot of not tight moments in the show that make the tight moments feel not as good to me. That's kind of what I'm saying. I know that's kind of like a weird like point to try to make. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Ray Skymonker, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now. Clear as Mud says, just finished today's episode and I thought it was great. That's dope, man. I'm glad you liked it. I am glad you liked it. Josh so salty he got high blood pressure now. No, I'm actually feeling good. I agree with you on some points and I disagree with you on others. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, well, I think I'm going to get out of here soon, guys. I think you've probably had enough of grumpy Josh. But in all seriousness, it's fine. We will get over it. Tom, I missed your super chat. I'm sorry, bud. Let me try to scroll up and find it. Oh, here we go. Tom says, after WandaVision, I've been treating this show like the old 90s shows I used to watch after school. Enjoyable and canon, but not important. That's fair, and perhaps I should recalibrate to where you're at with that, brother. Nihilus11 says, I'm late. Did we talk about Zemo at all? And where he's at right now? Also, take my money. No, we didn't talk about Zemo in that respect, but dude, Zemo stole the show. He's incredible. Wait, does it have your thing up there twice? Did you send the same super chat twice? Thank you. I'm with you in terms of being underwhelmed by the TV shows, but I honestly can't get too mad because they're just TV shows. That's fair. That's fair. If the movies like Doctor Strange or Spider-Man disappointed, then yeah, I'll rage. Totally fair, Amber. Totally fair take. I think really there is probably just a part of this that is like, I am just so disappointed. Maybe not disappointed, but I wanted Marvel's streaming shows to be better than like Warner Brothers movies. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted the Disney Plus shows to be so good because I thought for instance, when HBO made the move to put all of their movies onto HBO Max first, and then, you know, at the same time at the theaters, and then Disney at their investor call late in the year did not follow suit, I was like, that's really interesting to me. That feels like Feige or perhaps Disney saying, we think our streaming content is so strong that it can compete with your day and date release films. Now, I think they've actually learned that that's not true, but when they said it, that's where my head was at. That's where my expectations were at. Is that way too high? Of course. Of course. I don't feel as though it is matching up. You know what I mean? Google won't let me be Nerdvenger. Yikes. Josh, did you get Tom Cubbed super chat? Yeah, I got it. We just talked about it, right? Didn't we? Yeah. I feel like maybe the chat's a little bit behind me or something. Oh yeah, because I had the wrong setting on. Yeah. Eric Thrope says the episode was amazing. Yeah, dude, I know it was amazing. I've been trolling this whole time, dude. Come on, think about it. You compare TV shows to movies. Smack my head. I know. Who would ever do such a thing and compare TV shows to movies? That's just crazy. The more I think about it, the more I feel awful. Let's see here. And to think this let's see here. The thing is well, it's better than Wonder Woman in 1984. Johnny H says, "Hey, you ain't wrong there." Let's see here. Once again, Josh, don't get what he wants, so he hates it instead of just accepting what it is. You know? You right, though. You right. Gio Nueves Ramos says, new to this channel, but you seem like a cool dude with some knowledge. Thank you, Gio. Quote of the day. Timothy Gregg says, Josh, you're the best. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Me too. Owen Rhodes says, I seriously think you need to watch Invincible for a good palate cleanser. You'll enjoy it, brother. Perhaps I shall. Old Henry Lee says, they were mostly put together before knowing about the pandy. That's true, bro. Again, I'm going to be charitable. You know what I mean? But yeah. Just Hook says, I respect it, but you crazy, Josh. This episode was great. Loved Sam in this and how they truly setting him up for being a great Captain America. I love that too. But I knew Sam was a great pick when Steve Rogers picked him. I'm just waiting for Sam to realize it. You know what I mean? I think the cameo in episode 5 is going to be Geode. That's what I think. Am I excited for Loki and the Multiverse? Yeah. Very excited for that. Prince Zodiac says, I've never seen a fanboy tantrum. At least anyone else throw one? Right on, dude. How good was the Wakanda scene? The Wakanda scene was incredible. Bucky's performance in that scene was incredible, dude. How did he show all that pain? Very impressive. That's a lot of pain. That's a lot of pain. Very impactful. One of my favorite parts of the episode. Cameo in episode 5. Yeah, we'll talk more about it, but it's a big old thing. It's a big old thing. And the talk of the town is there's a massive cameo in episode 5. But again, I don't even feel like talking about it because of expectations. Do you think Zemo should get his own show? Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Blame Tobey for everything. It's probably Tobey's fault, honestly. Mas says, this is my wheelhouse. Chikov pistol. Foreshadowing of Sam taking down Walker with the PTSD trait. Wow, that's great. That's a brilliant idea. I did like that aspect of the show, that Sam and his history, and that everybody but Walker recognized that. It's probably because Walker has his own issues, you know, and he was never able to get helped by somebody like Sam, you know what I mean? Please don't get too hyped for Loki with fake spoilers from all those credible sources you always listen to that are usually wrong. Dude, what are you talking about? Those incredible sources they told me about the Black Captain America. They told me about the fact that John Walker was going to smash the shield. Those sources told me that Walker was going to take the super soldier serum. Everything those sources talked about is 100% true. The fact is, there's no meat on the bone other than that for me. So, wrong. You are. Sheep says, from the trailers, seems like all we have left is Sam and Bucky to take the shield, fall out of Walker, and then beating Carly. I hope we get more. Me too. Me too. Do you think we'll get the Captain America role if Walker goes wrong? I mean, it's Sam. Sam's going to get the Captain America role. Avi. Totally agree with you on the episode. Feels like another big factor is why the show falters, that I really don't feel like they're focusing on Falcon. Dude, right? Like, I feel like Sam's role in this show is so weird. I feel like I got no character development for Sam. Sam feels like more of a monolith in this show than Steve was. And yet he doesn't want to be Captain America. Like, Sam is a rock in this show. And I don't like it because it doesn't make sense. Everybody else is like dealing with a lot of shit and it's clearly messing with them. I don't see it in Sam. He's completely put together. He's everybody's dad. In the show, he's everybody's dad, which I guess in some ways is great because yeah, he should be Cap. No shit, that's why Steve picked him, right? He's a great human being, but I just don't see the struggle. I don't see it. I don't see it. Just me. Don't see it. Anyway. ways. I'll go like 5-10 more minutes, just see what you guys got going on, and then I'll get out of here, and then you can all yell about me other places than this chat. Almost the entire episode was post-lockdown reshoots. Okay. I disagree respectfully. Cool. All good. How will they treat Sam and Bucky after the show? I don't know, man. Bro, what the fuck happened last night? What are you talking about? There's no struggle for him because it's a natural characteristic he's always had. Fair. Missing lots of the buddy cop aspect that we all wanted. I agree. Is Sokovia Accords still a thing? I think so. Yeah. Sam's morality, second in line to Steve's. Couldn't give the shield to Bucky because, well, the implication. Oh, for sure. Dude, Bucky? Hell no, dude. Bucky's a loose cannon. Total loose cannon. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thank you for voicing your thoughts. The show looks good, and it's great to see characteristics, but it does lack in areas you highlighted. Yeah, I think it does. Did I go a little too hard on it? For sure. Some of it's like when I'm live and I'm in a performance like this, like you guys, especially because I know you're upset, and some of you are like, wow, you know what I mean? It sort of pushes me a little bit. It's a fun little thing. I hope you don't take it too seriously. I hope you don't get legitimately offended about it. At the end of the day, these are, fictional characters. This is a show. It's all for fun. You should be having fun with this. Even if you're mad at me right now, like you should be having fun. Like you should be like having fun in how mad you are at me. You know what I mean? Trust me, I'm having fun. Matthew Griffith says episode 4 was super ideological, but danced around using any actual terms. It was all us, they, them, we, you, people. Dude, for real. Like when Carly said we all know who they are, I'm like, no, we don't. Please elaborate. Like, I require elaboration. You know what I mean? That's what I felt like. Like, no, I don't know who they are. Who are you talking about? I agree. First hint of John taking the serum was him throwing that shield into the wall, foreshadowing identical Sam scene with the tree from the trailers. Yo! Yeah, that's interesting, Jim. That is an interesting take. I highly doubt Sam will take the serum. I mean, everything we've seen indicated that he will not. So. The man, says Alpha T. Yeah, but that's just not good enough for me, bro. Like, I get it. The system. Yeah, I get it. And maybe, you know what? To be fair, Alpha, I'll tell you this. To be fair, perhaps that's actually just to indicate that she is immature. But, like, it doesn't quite feel like that. It feels like they're trying to say she's got a point. And I'm like, okay, so she's got a point. Word. Who's she talking about then? Educate me. You know what I mean? Help me out here. You know what I mean? Tom Cub says, is that the first time a super soldier has killed a super soldier? Cap didn't even kill Red Skull. I don't know. Interesting point. Interesting question. Not sure. Josh, I love these. I love the realness and authentic take. We won't always have the same opinion. It's how you can piece together your arguments and back up your claims. That's what's fun. All love here, baby. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hope you guys understand. I mean, look, do I have unfair fan expectations? For sure. Look, let's just call it what it is. I'm a fucking man, baby. I'm a fucking borderline toxic man, baby, when it comes to my comics. You know what I mean? I try to be chill. Try to be cool. But, yeah, I have an unhealthy attachment to these characters. I made a channel called The Den of Nerds. I dedicated my adult life to talking about pop culture. Okay? Does that seem like the kind of person that would respond balanced always? I don't think so. So, 'tis what it is. Saying they're talking about people is what they viewed as the bad guys. Jay says, Jay Stephanie says, I'm late. Does Josh still hate the episode? I didn't hate it. I just really didn't like it. And when I watched it the second time, I didn't like it even more. Backroom corporate deals that screw the planet and the common person. Yeah, but that's like, I mean, to me, that's such, like, goobly glob, man. Like, what does that even mean, dude? Like, what does that even mean? This movie is literally produced by one of the biggest corporations on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, what? JJ Lamont says Sam keeps his struggle internal because he thinks it's best to help everyone struggling around him. He feels he has to be the strong one. Dude, I 100% agree with you, but that's not really that interesting. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome, but it's not necessarily compelling. It's much more compelling to watch Bucky struggle, right? Am I wrong? Huh. Josh Aragon, my friend, you bow to no one. Thanks, bro. Nihilus, will the people get behind Sam Cap right away? I will. I sure will. I like Sam as Cap. I like Sam as Cap. Let me guess, this dude likes every DCEU movie. Birds of Prey is better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Are you happy? You made that happen. You did it. What's your fucking name? Who are you? Jeremy Diaz. Jeremy Diaz, I hope you're happy. Because now I'm going to get clipped talking about how Birds of Prey is better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You just ruined my reputation. Anyway. Turkish Delight. Irresistible. Okay. I think that's enough. By the way, everybody else at the Den of Nerds loves the episode. I have a phone full of text messages and calls. Everybody's freaking out at me. I will be reprimanded for this live stream. Tis what it is. I hope you all are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And as I always say, I'll see you in the next video. Oh man, is everybody gone? Can I tell y'all how I really feel? Is everybody gone? So, I actually thought the episode was kind of cool. The end was real crazy. Blood on the shield. Nice. I give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. You know, pretty decent. You know, pretty excited. Looking forward to the rest of it. See ya.